Firefighters in the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhzhia worked through the night to put out fires from Russian strikes that killed one person and injured at least 25, emergency services said on Saturday. According to Associated Press, emergency rescue operations have been completed, but the injury tally is still being clarified, the services added. 8 people were hospitalized, including 3 children, they said, while fires were put out in residential apartment buildings, houses, a service station and a cafe. The latest attack comes amid a renewed push to bring the 3-year-old war to an end. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has called for meetings with US President Donald Trump and European leaders next week to discuss progress in the peace process. He has expressed frustration with what he called Russia's lack of constructive engagement in the process while it continues to launch devastating aerial attacks on civilian areas. Trump has also bristled at Russian leader Vladimir Putin stalling on an US proposal for direct peace talks with Zelenski, and said a week ago he expected to decide on next steps in 2 weeks if direct talks aren't scheduled. Trump complained last month that Putin talks nice and then he bombs everybody. But he has also chided Ukraine for its attacks.
Yes, на балконе.
Давай.
Yes.
Давай, давай.
Дякую велике рятувальникам за те, що врятували мого кота, тому що це мій любимий кіт, тому дякую велике вам.
Да, можем.
Так, давайте назад все. Без спецсредств.
President of Portugal Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa made a harsh statement about U.S. President Donald Trump. In his opinion, the American leader is, objectively, a Soviet or Russian agent. The supreme leader of the world's largest superpower is objectively a Soviet or Russian asset, said de Sousa during a speech in Castelo de Vide. Trump's efforts to present himself as the main mediator in reconciling Ukraine and Russia did not make a good impression on the Portuguese president. De Sousa noted that Trump's attempts to settle the war were not beneficial for Ukraine. Objectively, the new U.S. leadership strategically contributed to Russia, he added. As an example, de Sousa reminded that, every day, there are new threats from the U.S. to impose sanctions on the Kremlin. However, in reality, none of Trump's promises to strengthen sanctions had been fulfilled. According to the Portuguese leader, Trump tries to play the role of an arbiter, but at the same time wants to negotiate only with one side. Kiev and its European allies are literally forced to pressure Washington to also take part in the negotiations. De Sousa added that Europe downplayed the importance of Trump and Trumpism, and also did not believe that the balance of power in the White House and U.S. policy could change so drastically after Trump came to power. Meanwhile, media write that U.S. President Donald Trump is not satisfied with the demands of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Europe for ending the war. He wants peace at any cost. In recent days, Trump has expressed in private conversations his frustration that his loud diplomatic efforts have not brought results, but he blames not Russia and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Sousa's reaction came after Trump's repeated attempts to position himself as the primary mediator in bringing Ukraine and Russia together. Trump's efforts to settle the conflict, according to Sousa, have not actually helped Ukraine. Instead, he suggested, the 79-year-old's actions could weaken Ukraine's position or may even indirectly favor Russia, according to Ukrainian national news.